Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Ariel and I'm the owner of Ariebea Sticker Shop. Did you guys enjoy the new intro? I decided to do something a little bit new. I felt like this channel needed a little bit of a refresh, especially since I'm trying to get back into making video content for you guys. It's been a while. I'm really sorry I had to regroup myself after my mom passed away a little over a year ago. I'm hoping to get back into the groove a little bit with filming, and I'm going to start that off with a swatch comparison. So I don't know if this video needs much of an explanation, but if you're new here, you might not know. So I have done some swatches here in my Hobonichi Techo, which a lot of people really enjoy the paper of, the Tomoe River paper. Basically, in the new year, some of the planners will be changing to a different paper manufacturer. So the new paper is the Sanzen paper, which Hobonichi kindly offered to give us a sample of if you ordered a Techo for 2023. They kindly offered us a little sampler, mini sampler booklet, I guess you can say, this little fold out of what the new paper will feel like. I think that this little notebook is very sweet and very thoughtful of Hobonichi to do, and the great thing is that you can test all of your pens on these little sampler notebooks. If you've ordered the I think A6 and A5 Techos, then these little pamphlets would have come with your book. If you ordered the Weeks, I believe you don't get one of these. And that is because next year the Weeks paper will still be the same. So I went ahead and swatched all of my gorgeous pens and fountain pen inks and all the things that I enjoy using in my regular Weeks, and I decided to swatch them all here on this little layout here. I've only decided to do one side, but I'll show you guys the comparison and talk to you guys about what I think about this paper. I filmed a whole like 30-minute video of me like swatching all of my highlighters, markers, fountain pens, and stuff like that, and I decided to make it an ASMR video. I'll insert some clips in here as well as I'm talking so you guys know what I'm mentioning. But if you guys want to watch that ASMR video, that would also be up on my channel already. I'll upload these at the same time. That video was really difficult for me to film. I was filming it both on this camera as well as on my phone, so I had a pretty hard time getting everything in shot. I went through a lot of troubles while filming it, so I don't know if you guys want to see some outtakes, but man, my heart broke a couple of times. Okay, so let's get going. I decided to do my swatches here in my new 2023 Techo, as you guys can see. Let's see, do I have a clip? I have a clip here to hold open my pages so you guys can see, and then I'll also zoom in as well, so be right back. Okay, so these are all of the pens that I decided to swatch in here. I feel like they are the most popular ones in general. You guys know that I really like the Uni Jetstream pens. I've been using it for a very long time. I haven't been using it as much recently, but when I first started using the Techo in general, these ones were my favorite. I journaled with these pens a lot because I thought that they were very convenient. I also really liked how they were 0.5. This is the Hobonichi pen, by the way. But I really liked that tip, and I used it a lot in my journal when I first got it. I went through so many refills. So basically any ballpoint pen would work really well on the regular Tomoe River paper. Moving on to some more gel pens. I really like the Uni Signo. You guys know I really like that pen. I also have it in a blue-black color. The Sarasa pens are okay. I find that a lot of people do use Sarasa pens in their Hobonichi Techos. For me, sometimes they smudge. I think it might be because I am writing a little bit fast. This is one of the Sarasa pens that I think works really well in the Hobonichi Techo. This is the Sarasa Dry in the, oh actually it's 0.4, not 0.5, oops. But also the Sarasa R is not bad, but I still do think it smudges just a little bit. I have here some swatches of the Sarasa Belen, as you can see, and that one is, I have it in this pencil case, one moment. I got one of these tricolor pens. I got it from Wonder Pens, which is a Canadian stationery store here. It's local to me. So I've been using this pen and I do really like it. The reason why I got this was because it does have a pencil component to it, which is what I originally needed. And it does have a black and then a red refill here as well. I really like the pen components to these. I feel like my hand doesn't hurt when I'm writing very long. As you can see, the tip is very thin though, so it's very similar to the Jetstream. Both of these pens write extremely smoothly. However, I do feel like this pencil is a little bit difficult for me to write with. I might just change out the lead and see if it makes a difference. Personally, I would like something a little bit darker, so I need to go check out another refill for that. I do find that when I am writing with the pencil, my hand tends to cramp up a little bit. So these are the swatches for these Sarasa vintage pens. I really like these. I think the colors are very beautiful. Again, I do think that they smudge a little bit, but I mean, if you want a really pretty color in your techo when you're journaling or for your to-do list, these are really nice and very easy to use. The last few pens here I know a lot of people recommend are the Pentel Energel pens. I do have one. It's in the 0.5. I do really like that pen, but I think I much prefer the Unisigno. I think that's just because I have the Energel in a 0.5 tip, but it definitely doesn't bleed. The only one that I find bleeds here is the permanent Energel. I have one of those really thick ones, and I do think that you can see it through the paper a little bit more. Now I'll quickly show you guys what it looks like here. So these are all of the same swatches, hopefully in the same order. I did have to write pretty small in order to fit it all onto these tiny little sheets. I think it turned out really cute though. So like I said, all of these pens work pretty well, and nothing really bled through. I will say that the Sarasa Dry Fit, the dry air fit, can bleed through. There's a significant amount of ghosting, more than all of the other ones, so I wouldn't suggest using that one. And then the Pentel Energel permanent one. These two pens I think are really good, however, on like washi sticky notes or like vellum sticky notes. I think those are really, really good. I would still let them dry for a little bit longer than I normally would, but nonetheless they're really nice. So moving on to the other side of the page here, I have a few of my favorite markers. So these markers I have been using for quite a long time. So if you're looking for a really good, like, thin marker, I would suggest using the Sakura Micron. I really like it in the 0.5, but I've used pretty much all of these sizes when I was in architecture school. These Micron pens are really good. I love the tip of them. You can fray them if you are a person who is heavy-handed, but I really like these for archival purposes. They stand up really well on a lot of different types of paper. The micro perms are very similar to the Micron in feel. They're the exact same nib, but I would recommend them again on some vellum sticky notes or something a little bit like thicker, because I will say that they ghost a lot more. You can see the two here. This one almost decided to bleed through, but it's not quite bleeding through the paper. So I wouldn't suggest using those micro permanent pens on the Tomoe River paper, and that goes the same with the Sanzen paper as well. You can see the two swatches on the back here. But all of these other ones definitely work really well in both the old Tomoe River paper as well as the new ones. So as you can see here, I do have a few of the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pens. I have the soft one and the hard one. It's been a while since I used those. But all of these Tombows are beautiful here. You can see them. They don't bleed through at all. A new favorite of mine are these Sailor Shikori brush pens. I really love these brush pens. I think they're very beautiful. The colors are very nice, and there's also a dual tip to them as well. They're a lot thinner than the Tombow fine tip. So sometimes it is a little bit difficult to see, but if you are someone who likes to write really small and wants some fun marker colors, then these are definitely ones to check out. As you can see, I made little tiny swatches here of the Sailor Shikori brush pens, and they came out beautifully. And also because this paper is more of a light color versus the yellow tone of the Weeks paper, you can definitely see them a lot more. Also, I will say, because I did these swatches on this page versus like a monthly page, there is no grid on this page, so you might see them as a little bit more vibrant. So moving on to the next page, I want to show you guys some amazing swatches. of some of my favorite Pentel brush pens. They work beautifully on both the old one and the new one. And as you can see, I do have quite a few colors. You can see them a little bit more clearly here on the new paper. I have a lot of different colors here. I have all of my markers here, as you can see. And they work really well because there is no bleeding at all whatsoever. This is the back of where I did those swatches, and you can't even see them. They are beautiful. I really like the flexibility of the nib. It's not too hard and not too soft. Probably already know my favorite colors. I love using this gray. This brown is amazing as well. So those are two colors that I definitely recommend, but I do have a ton more that I feel like need a little bit more love. So those are all of the markers here. Next, I do want to show you some more swatches of my Zebra mild liners. You guys know I love these markers so much. These highlighters are in 10,000,001 different colors. I have almost all of them. I started at the top with the ones that I recently bought. These ones are my latest purchases. I have some of them here. I love them. They're in beautiful muted colors. And as you can see, they're up here as well. Also very beautiful on the new paper. So these are all of the swatches that I did of the mild liners. As you can see, a little bit of the difference. I do think that these ones look a lot more vibrant on the new paper, so I mean that's a great thing, especially if you want to be using markers, and again, virtually no bleed. There's very minimal ghosting as well. You might see a little bit of ghosting here. These ones are the Pentel ones, but like I said, they didn't go through, and those ones are like the super vibrant colors as well. So the last, let's just flip it. If I flip the page, you guys can see there's only a little bit of shadowing here, but no bleed through. It's amazing. I purposely left these pages blank so I'll be able to see what it looks like on the back. So these are all of the inks that I currently own. I swatched all of these with a TWSBI fine nib. I was able to DIY a dip pen because I didn't already own one, and the one that I wanted wasn't going to be restocked until like November, so I didn't want to wait to film this video. But what I ended up doing was taking out my TWSBI nib in one of my TWSBI Ecos, and then I put the nib into a calligraphy handle. If you guys want to see a video on that, I'll do it for sure. But I DIY'd it a little bit, and all of these were inked with that pen. These other two I had in a actual Kaweco Sport. I had a little bit of trouble swatching these, if I'm honest. If you guys really want to see, oh my gosh, my heart broke. I dropped my nib into one of these bottles. This one, this Aurora Borealis. I always have a hard time with this. I don't know what this ink has against me, seriously, but I always get it on my fingers. It's always the one that I spill, and it's the one that I dropped my fountain pen nib inside. But my swatches turned out okay, as you can see here. I was able to do them twice as well with no problems afterwards. I think that the colors here look very vibrant on this paper, and it's not just because this paper is a little bit yellow in the weeks. You can definitely see a lot more of the deeper tones on this paper, which I really enjoy. I think you can still get a lot of different variation with it. You can see some of the light tones and some of the darker tones in here. The only difference that I found with my fountain pens on this older paper and the new ones is that this paper, the Sanzen paper, gives a little bit more feedback. So if you are someone that doesn't like having feedback when you write, it has a little bit more texture on the paper, a little bit more grit, then you might not like that. However, I really like it. It's not that your fountain pen doesn't glide over the page like how a lot of people explain it on the original Tomoe River paper. This one still does that, but you just feel it a little bit more in your pen. If you are someone that is very particular with that, then you might not enjoy it, but I do think that this paper is going to be wonderful. Honestly, I didn't think that Hobonichi would put a subpar paper into their techos, considering how much detail they put into their planners in general already. So I'm happy that I was able to test all of my inks and all of my pens and highlighters and stuff like that on this paper already. I think everything seems good as well. I'll still be able to use all of the things that I already own. known and loved for many years in the new techos that they release. I'm just gonna quickly do a little comparison. I think that the new paper is just a tad bit thicker, but not by much. It's still very smooth. It doesn't feel like as cold as the regular Tomoe River paper, but it's still very smooth. Just like I said, it has a tiny bit more grit to it. Alright, so those are all of my pen swatches here in both my Hobonichi Weeks for 2023, as well as on the new Sanzen Tomoe River paper that will be featured in the 2024 techos. Honestly, I do still think that a lot of people will enjoy using the Hobonichi techo for 2024. I still think that the paper is really nice and that people will still be able to journal how they like in their techos and make it chunky and have gorgeous crinkling paper and all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was informational. If you guys want to know a little bit more about some of my swatches and things in more detail, then do let me know. If you want to hear that ASMR swatch video, then I'll link it somewhere here. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram as well, which is Ariebea. I will leave a link to it down below if you want to follow me there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to be hopefully filming some of my setup videos in my new techos soon. I'm very excited to do it. As you can see, I already have this here in this cover. I don't know if it'll stay in here, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!